Hey, it's John Shapiro, here we go. Knows the road rules better than most folks know. Ask your questions, bring the heat or keep it chill. He's got the answers and a license to spill. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you want to hear. Badge, now a podcast star, navigating traffic laws near and far. Stop sign confusions or a signal light feud. Sean's the one to give you the right attitude. Yeah, ask your traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you want to hear. From this man. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday already. It's hard to believe the week is almost gone. Hump day. Hope you're having a great one. I was up late last night because I was on Ask a Traffic Cop After Dark. Yes, that's the, what is that? That's when we do this button and that button. We bring in this logo. I like this logo. Ask a Traffic Cop After Dark. It's Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. And that's where I talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff, but at nighttime, just to give more people an opportunity to jump in. Yeah. And then I got a new segment here. We're going to do dash cam court. I have a bunch of dash cam videos that I share. One in particular that we'll talk about today. And I am really looking forward to sharing with you because it's a collision that happened in Toronto that a friend of mine sent. And, you know, this is just shows you why dash cams are so important. Anyway, the lines are open. If I had telephones, that would make sense. But if you got questions, I got answers. Feel free to drop them on the chat. And if you're watching on TikTok, please tap the screen so your fingers go numb. It helps bring more people to the party so they can bring those interesting questions, well, that we want to talk about. I do want to talk about a couple of fatal collisions, and I'll share with you the stories in a moment. But the big thing is that, well, what is the big thing? The big thing is that I want to share the stories. I also have that dash cam one. Let's see what happens if I pull this up. Will it show you the right one? Yes. Okay, I'm too big here. First things first, I want to let you know that askatrafficcop.com is a thing. And if you go to, let me make this smaller. There we go. If you go to askatrafficcop.ca and .com, both of them go here, where you can actually send a voicemail. If you hit the button here, oh no, I'm pressing the wrong screen. Here, well, then it'll allow you to record and send me a voicemail. I get tons of messages and I'm happy to respond. The deal is that those messages get to me, and if it's something we should share on the show, I will share it and we'll answer it live. I have one of those ready, I believe, for this one. But then we also have stuff like a CTV. Is it CTV? I think it's CTV. It is CTV. We've got a collision in Etobicoke. It was a fatal with a motorcycle rider. And then there's another story that's in Caledonia, I believe, where there was another collision and sadly also fatal. But there's something about the stats on this one that I really want to address. So we'll come back to that in just a little bit. Let's see what's going on here. We've got fantastic. Oh, and if you're not already following us on YouTube, please go to the VoiceOver Cop channel. You can do that through a link at askatrafficcop.ca. And I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers. It would be wonderful if I could hit that really soon. It just gives us access to more support from YouTube. It's not about making cash, it's just having more access to more funky options and stuff and things. Yeah. I don't think we're anywhere near close, to monetization, but it does get us to the next tier of support. What is this? I wanna play this in the background. Is it gonna work? Well, that was the one from last night. We'll do this one. We'll just leave it running in the background. It's not terribly annoying, but I wanna make sure that the audio runs right. We had problems last night. I had the MacBook microphone on and not this magical Shure SM7B that I love so much. So I thought I was sounding like I sound in my headphones, and no, everyone's hearing me clacking the keyboard as I, fumble around. Anyway, I double and triple and quadruple checked this morning to make sure the appropriate one was going. Anyone watching what's going on in LA? Shocking. Marines are coming out now. It's very interesting. I don't quite, yeah. It thousands of people just watching people walking around while soldiers and police are out and about. It's very interesting. Waga says, "Hey Sean, how's it going? It's going good. Thanks for dropping in." Tinsdale, welcome. Oh, and thank you to Tinsdale. We were having a discussion yesterday on the Ask a Traffic Cop After Dark show, and that conversation was pretty simple. Somebody came up and said, the law is changing for impaired operation, and the limit for alcohol in your blood is going to go from zero point zero 0.08, which is now currently criminal, to zero point zero 0.05. But it's not. And we confirmed that later. And thanks for the legwork that Tinsdale did when he got to the office today. But the deal is that zero point zero 0.05 is illegal, but it's not criminal. So in the province of Ontario and most provinces, if you have zero point zero 0.05 to 0.079, you are going to get a suspension, but you're not getting criminally charged. It's gonna be a 3-day or 7-day, or does it go up to 10-day, or is it a course at that point? I don't remember. In any case, don't drink and drive. Don't drive impaired. Don't drive on drugs or alcohol. It doesn't matter which one it is. It's bad for you. It's not safe. And then we get into the tragedies. Well, we'll get into that in a second. Uh, we got Monica who's watching. We've got Shko LK, Talos. How you doing? Kevin Lall. Hello, hello. And if you're watching, while you're watching, just if you continuously tap the screen till your fingers go numb, that would be really, really helpful. All right. I want to talk. What do I want to talk about? Okay. We went here before. I want to go here again. If you didn't already know this, you can join the Great Canadian Driving Games and enter for a chance to win up to $100,000. What is that? Well, this is where you can install an app on your phone. It's an app on your phone that allows you to be tracked. Yes, they're going to watch every move you make, but it's anonymously shared with the Traffic Injury Research Foundation. That's TURF. And what that information does is it works to make roads safer. It helps to teach us what's going wrong. Where are people making the errors that are becoming fatal? Yeah. And if you go to that website, there's also a podcast episode that really talks about in depth what the story is behind the app and how it works. I think it's pretty awesome. And since we're here, just want to thank Diamond and Diamond Lawyers. They are sponsors of the show, along with Barrett Legal. They help make this possible. The fact that I come out here and do all this is because they're helping to cover the costs of things like software and internet and things that otherwise would simply come out of my pocket, which is still majority of what I do. All my time is donated. In any case, shout out to those fine folks who make it all happen. Okay, um, yeah, I've done that. I've done this. We'll go back to the app. You can win the $100,000, and you can also win gift cards along the way. And yeah, I've gone back and forth, and now let's just get into something else. I want to share some interesting stuff. I'm just going to play uh, the reel here from the CTV website. We'll go to that, and I think you're going to find it interesting because I sure did. Let me know if you can't hear it. No sound, huh? Mm. Well, that's not working the way I wanted it to. Hang on a sec. I think I can fix that. Can you hear it now? Audio coming through now? Hang on. Weird, weird. Well, hmm, I gotta figure out why that's not working. But in the meantime, I will tell you that it's the 19th fatality in Toronto, traffic fatality in Toronto. And why is that important? Well, people always say that speeding doesn't matter and that traffic safety isn't a big deal. But the truth is that this is the 19th traffic fatality. We've only had 15, according to this duty inspector, that there's only been 15 uh, deaths otherwise, like criminal stuff. I don't know if he, I don't recall if he said 15 firearms related. Sadly, I can hear it. If you can't, I'll just back up for 1 second. He's- I'm listening to it, even though it's off screen. I want to make sure I quote him properly. 19th traffic fatality. He says only 15 shooting homicides. So while everybody screams and waves their arms about firearms, they are not acknowledging the fact that uh, that we see more death and destruction as a result of vehicles. Now, not every crash results in fatality, but they still have injured parties. Like it's serious stuff out there. That's why I'm so passionate about traffic safety and so pissed off that this audio didn't get through to you. Why? I don't know why though, because it's all coming through the soundboard. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I do. I think I do know. Hang on. I wonder if I could just let me see here if I go secondary and then output routing. Okay, this might work, and I rely on you for letting me know if it does. By the way, good morning, Melody. Thank you for still no. Oh wait, I didn't switch this. Let's see. This is tech support live, folks. This is tech support live, folks. A bit of a delay. Oh, this is so annoying. Oh, all right. I'm giving up on this. Oh well, we'll have it ready for next week. I will figure this out. I shall succeed. This is so annoying. 'Cause I hear it and you can't, and I don't know why. Sadly, my technical support team is me, but we'll figure this out. This is the output, but the input, and the input is the oh, maybe no. Could it be this one? Could it be that one? Did we figure this out? Oh, maybe we'll try one more thing. Trying last. You tried plugging it back in. Think this way. I don't know what I just did there. Okay. I really, 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 really giving up now. I think I thought I had it, but I don't think I have it anymore. Okay, moving along. Moving along. Okay. Now this is it's funny because we get all these connections. We do all this linking in with radio stations and television stations, and it just works. But to play the audio off a website, for that I'm having problems. Oh well. Okay, moving along. Moving along. Let's have a look and see what we got here in the stuff and things. If you got questions about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff, well, then go ahead and ask them here because that's what this is all about. And are there closed captions? I don't think there were. And was this a collision from this year? This was yesterday. Uh, I love the suggestion of unplugging it and plugging it back in again. That would be awesome. I suppose I could have just read it, but anyway, there was also a collision that occurred in Caledonia. Apparently, it was Tuesday, 7:59 p.m. OPP talked about this collision on Argyle Street South involving a motor vehicle and an SUV. I don't know why they're both motor vehicles, but anyway. And they were pronounced deceased. This is the driver of the motor vehicle, the car, not the SUV. They're both motor vehicles. Anyway, again, it's far too many people that are no longer with us as a result of minor or major collisions on the road. I say minor. It's not minor when someone loses a life, but it's minor in terms of these are things that could be avoided. And then you got the speeder. That motorcycle collision in Etobicoke was absolutely avoidable. Why? Because the rider, through according to the officer, the duty inspector, said speed through multiple witnesses was a factor, and that's what's happening with a lot of motorcycle riders. Not to mention the fact that their skill level is terrible, but they're just driving too fast. Drivers in general, and we're getting into trauma season. This is the season where people think they can go fast and get away with it. The winter, everybody drives slow because they're aware of the fact that it's slippery and that a wrong move could really cause an issue. But when it comes to summertime, everyone feels invincible. Sticky tires, dry roads. Yeah, it's wild how that works. Let's see here. Core says, "Are you a traffic cop?" I was. I retired in August of last year. EO11 has other questions or statements that have nothing to do with traffic, so we'll just mute them. And let's see here. Oh, Bad Cat 43 says just caught a guy on 11 slash 17, 155 in a 90. Good for you. That's a good catch, which is a nice stunt driving charge. So, how they enjoy the tow? Are these, are they, I don't understand why people need to go so fast. Also, JJ Arnold says, thanks. Congratulations for on the new chapter of life. This is a great forum. Thanks very much, JJ. Much appreciated. I'm having fun with it, except for the technical difficulties that are the bane of my existence. But I can't explain why that wasn't working. Like, how am I able to hear it, but you can't? I just don't know. In any case, uh, well, now I say that, and that makes me wonder. It makes me wonder if there's another option. Do I really want to try this again? Hang on. Main multi-track. Let's try it. I'm a glutton for punishment is what I is. Let's see if this works. Could I be doing this wrong the entire time? I think this is gonna be a very interesting experience. Let's see what happens. How funny is this? It's working, isn't it? No. Is it? No, it's not. I'm so annoyed. I was worth a shot. Thank you for being on the I thank you for the, for putting up with this, once again attempt. I thought I had it. I thought I had it. Oh, Bad Cat 43 says, that the OPP just caught I thought you were Bad Cat, I assumed you were on the road doing it. But they got it. So how do you know the speed in such detail? Was this on the news? Either way, awesome. Uh, Veronica says, "It is likely I can get points reduced on a failure to stop ticket rolling a stop sign by fighting it." Is it likely? I will put your question on screen. Hang on a second. Copy. And then we paste it here. Oh, pasting. Why is this not working? Boy, we're having technical everything problems today. Man. Okay, let's see what's going on there. Yeah, we're having some weird stuff going on because apparently chat's not working properly either. Make sure our YouTube is live. YouTube is live. Oh, there's tons of questions that are not coming through. Well, here we go. Kayla, greetings and salutations. I was wondering why I was quiet. Apparently something is broke. But greetings and salutations from Kayla. Now I gotta have a second window up. Boy, that explains a lot. It's not all my fault. The internet gods are not cooperating. Okay. Okay, we go do it old manual. Because normally I have a all the chat questions in one place. So I'm apologies for ignoring you. I wasn't ignoring you. But here we go. We'll come back to the catching up with everybody who's there watching and wondering why I'm ignoring them. But the points reduced on a failure to stop a ticket for rolling a stop sign. So you can go and ask for pleading guilty to a lesser included offense. That's something that they may entertain or may not, because if you plead guilty to the offense of failure to stop or stop wrong place, they include points, and the courts don't apply those points. So if you plead guilty to an offense that includes demerit points, you get the demerit points. There's no negotiations. Also, for anyone watching on Twitch, I guess we're not seeing the Twitch comments either. Let me see here. All right, I'm not seeing the X.com. Oh, it's really a big cluster to this morning, isn't it? I got to watch every episode. Okay, we can open a LinkedIn window. Boom. I'll put that over in the corner here. And then we're going to open up a Twitch page because we're on all of them just in case. And then we have LinkedIn, we have this, we have YouTube. TikTok has its own X, view on X. Oh, hold on a second. X needs a different platform. or different. I'm logged in a different app. Stand by. Boy, this is turning out to be an incredibly unorganized thing. It's okay. You know what? The joy of it is that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when we have problems because we just work through them. We shall persevere. I don't know, just something. Rizzy had comments there, but I think Rizzy jumped over to other platforms too. Let's catch up on the. I already answered the question about the points reduced. Talk to the prosecutor, and if you haven't already responded to them, like if you have a court date, go in court. But you could also have a first appearance with a prosecutor in advance. So, Akela Draconis had said, still dealing with that stuff. Cool. That was just a sort of a direct to me, a dad joke for later. Sadly, I can't put it on screen because none of that is working. But I will make a note and we'll just read it at the end. I got to talk to tech support when this is all done. Is good cop or bad cop a real thing? Is it planned out like the script in a movie? That I couldn't say. Is it a real thing? It's absolutely different attitudes and different personalities, and yeah. It could be bad cop and worse cop, good cop and better cop. I don't know. Jennifer says, "Yep, motorcycle lists go 200 kilometers an hour and 100 every day on the 400." Yeah, they do dumb stuff, but they don't understand anything. OPP Northwest always posts and always the local police like 10 stunts in as many days around here. Yeah, stunts are just an everyday occurrence, aren't they? They really, it doesn't take a lot to find them. In a moment, I'm going to play you a video, a dash cam video that has no sound, so we won't have to worry about routing it. Boy, this is annoying. Okay. Another dad joke for later. Quickly organizing this. Oh, a Star Wars dad joke. If you got dad jokes, throw them in the comments, and hopefully I'll see them. And and this is the last. This is officially the last Star Wars joke from this particular book of Star Wars jokes from Michaela. Brandon says, "Good morning, Sean and all. Sorry I'm late. I'm on Florida time. I wish I was in Florida. I'm wearing a Florida shirt, my Miami shirt today. Probably subconsciously chose it based on Brandon telling me he was at Disney yesterday." Brandon says, "Hope you all have a fantastic day." I'm looking forward to a fantastic day. Okay, we're catching up here. I was wondering where everybody was, and they were right here, just not being seen. Oops. Quotes. Akela says, on the weekend, he saw a pedestrian waiting at a crossover with lights flashing, and he watched 5 cars just continue through, and he was the first one to stop. That is shocking. Where is that? Is that a common location? Because I want to come out to that location and record it. I'm looking for more. I've started plotting out my plan of attack for recording, not attacking, but recording intersections that are problematic in the GTA, and I'd like to come to that one. Maybe we'll just get some lawn chairs and sit and watch. But that's yeah, send me the location. Okay. Let's go back to erresponder.on.ca says disobey sign. That would be the lesser included. Disobey sign, 2 points. Okay. Shkoe okay says had to honk at a pair of cars that were having a turning versus straight standoff at a two-way stop. It says 2 alongside back road highway. Who would have the right? Along a side road back road highway. Can't read. Along a side back road highway. Who would have the right of way in this? I'm not visualizing what you're painting here. So you've got a pair of cars having turning versus going straight. So the main road would have the priority. They would have no stop sign, I'm assuming, and the side road has a stop sign before entering, so they have to yield to the traffic on the road. But what is the intersection? Maybe we can pull it up on maps and have a look. An ear responder says, "Hey, bought a bike, headed to GP to spend more money." Right on. Congratulations. What kind of bike did you buy? And SH18 says, "I made someone very mad yesterday for stopping at a 4-way stop." Yeah, it's a them problem for sure. And letting the appropriate person make their turn. It's amazing how entitled people are. Melody says, sitting in lawn chairs watching bad drivers would be fun. Bad driver bingo. Oh, we could turn it into a game show. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Okay. Since we've been talking about stuff, we're gonna put this up. This is a dash cam video from my buddy's dash cam. Let me know when you see it. What do you think? I'll play it again. Here, we'll just loop it. Like, driver approaches. What do we got here? A nice red light. Everyone else stops and he doesn't. So he T-bones the crossing car. What do you think? Is that just an everyday average thing? Where was this? I don't recognize the intersection, but I think it's in Toronto. Sails right in. And it's not even a high-speed collision. Yeah. Any bets as to what it was? Do you think it was a medical? Did he spill his coffee in his lap, or was he texting and driving? Because I don't know the answer, but I would assume they were on their phone. You can't do what that person did unless their eyes weren't on the road. And my buddy was there. He didn't say that guy had a heart attack. So it wasn't. Ugh. It was still a good knock. So someone's getting a few weeks off work and a new car, I think. Yes, and that's a red light all day for sure. And SH says distracted. Cell phone for ER responder. Yeah. SH18 says, I knew that was going to happen, but still gasps. It's amazing. I watch videos and my wife gets so upset because I'm like, ah! As I'm watching this slow motion train wreck. It's just wild, wild. ER responder, HD Ultra Classic sounds amazing. Congratulations. Ride it well and safely, rubber side down. Let's see here. We got Melody says, I would do a weekend trip to the GTA for that kind of entertainment. You know what? This sounds like, what if we rented like a stadium seating and put it up and just sat there watching? We get some popcorn machine. This could be really fun, but I would need to get a permit for that. Just a couple of lawn chairs and we just go to different locations and talk about it. That would be entertainment. For me anyway. I think some people would be bored, but I think not. Do you think the driver would even notice? Like drivers, would they notice that there was a gaggle of people watching, eating popcorn and snacks, just watching the intersection? We have the drone overhead watching. What was it? I was at an intersection yesterday and thought, damn, I wish I had this being recorded because everything that was happening was, it was an intersection. I was in Thornhill, but the intersection wasn't. And I've just watched a slow motion right turn at a red light. So they came to a stop. No, I was at the red light. They were making a right on green, and they were slow motion in the middle of the lane. Like they didn't turn from the right lane to the right lane. They made a right turn, hung around in the intersection for a while, no pedestrians present, and then made a turn into the left lane, an improper turn. It was so bad, so bad. SH18 says, my husband drilled in my head that I have to do my best to predict the other drivers. That's what defensive driving is, really. You can't just do this thing like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do and everybody else can just figure it out. No, it's cooperative driving. It's figuring out what everybody else is doing and finding the safest way to go through the mess. I went with my kids on Monday to Wonderland. And aside from being thoroughly disgusted at a pizza being $45.99, I spent like the next 4 ride lines coming up with an AI generated graphic. I was going to tweet about it. I finally just gave up on ChatGPT because it was crap. But I wanted to put up a comparison. Like for $45.99, I think the math was that you could do 3.5 pizzas at Costco versus one pizza at Wonderland. And yeah, and then in addition to that, that's like how many burgers was it? It was 16 hamburgers. Excuse me, at McDonald's. Yeah, it's like it's so bad. In fact, I refused to buy a pizza when I had to feed my kids because I'm like they're not going to eat that much. But two slices of pizza with garlic bread. Who buys pizza and then adds garlic bread? But whatever. It was going to cost me so much for that I might as well have bought the pizza. So instead, I just bought the dining plan. And now I have to go for 4 hours every time I go to Wonderland because I got to go get two included meals. Otherwise, I don't make my money worth. And by the way, if you don't know the reference for "make my money worth," there's a guy on TikTok who is hilarious, and he's traveling all over the place, finding the best deals in Japan and what to make his to stretch his dollar. So that's the new fun thing. At least that's the fun thing. I think it's fun to say because I'm quoting him. Malad sent a gift. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Let's see here. What is Malad wants to know something. Malad wants to know if you can get pulled over just for tints. You can get pulled over for anything. You can get pulled over just to be pulled over, and I mean that with love. The deal the deal is that in Ontario, and I can't speak to every province, but in Ontario, you can, or a police officer can pull you over to check if you're licensed, to check if you're insured, to check if you're sober, to make sure your vehicle is safe. So if any of those are an issue, then you could walk away with tickets. But it's not about it's not about it's not random. It's pulling you over to verify that you are in fact legally able to operate safely that vehicle that is insured. So tinted windows, icing on the cake. Yes, absolutely. You can be pulled over just for tints because you don't even need the tint to pull you over. And could you be charged for tints? Absolutely. Rarely, like, the way I operate, and I didn't write a lot of tint tickets, although I have written a bunch. So there was two ways to get a tinted window ticket from me. One, the window is so dark that I am just shocked that I can't see anything inside the vehicle and it's a bright sunny day. That would have been pull over, investigate, ticket. Because if I can't see anything inside, it looks like it's opaque. Like it's a reason to look at that car. There's why nobody needs to pick their nose that bad that they spend big dollars on tinting. There's something else going on, in my opinion. And I could be wrong, but it doesn't matter whether you're up to something behind that glass or not. The fact that I can't see you, identify you, look inside, you're obscuring the interior of a motor vehicle. That in itself is against the law. Not to mention the fact that if it's that dark during the day, you're also driving an unsafe motor vehicle, which means I would likely pull your license plates and make you reapply for a vehicle safety permit because more than 30% light blockage means it's illegal. It's unsafe. You can't see out as well as you're supposed to. And if I can't see in, that is not going to fly. So you could walk away with a bunch of different tickets because obscuring the interior, unsafe motor vehicle, obstruct driver's view, like those apply. All three of those apply. That covers it. In terms of the other way to get pulled over, if I pulled you over for speeding, I hadn't noticed your windows, but since I'm there, I'm investigating everything. You might get just the speeding ticket, but if you got attitude, you might get both. The personality test has a lot to do with all activities with police enforcement. And people go, well, that's not fair. If you're being a dick to the officer, expect them to be more interested in finding more stuff. It's there. You're breaking the law. It's not like they're making it up, but they become more interested in ensuring that all compliance is checked. So, whereas if you get pulled over because you were speeding, you say, I'm really sorry, officer. I know I was speeding. Instead of, you don't know your job and I pay your bill. Like when you start being a dick, you get it tenfold. At least, and I think that's appropriate. I honestly do. Let's see. Oh yeah, tech support is just brought out the best in my day, and tech support is me. So let's see here. Okay says I was taught to always scan under vehicles for shadows and the chance of children, people. Yes, a scan, yes, but you have to be very careful because you can't have your focus there. But yeah, I totally see that. And always scanning mirrors. Amazing how many people don't realize that mirrors are a thing. Malad wants to know if the ticket affects the insurance or anything. If you're talking about tinted windows, any conviction would or could impact your vehicle's insurance. It depends on your insurance company and their criteria for um, for checking that stuff out. Like they might look and see that's a minor, and the minor means that they would not necessarily one ticket may not impact your insurance, but a bunch of minor tickets could. It's not just speeding that impacts your insurance. It's the fact that you can't follow rules. That's an and if they were to look at your vehicle as modified, let's say you got into a collision, you hit a pedestrian, you had a tinted windshield. Do you think that they're going to cover you when you possibly caused that collision simply because of your tinted windows? There's more to it, but they would find a way not to pay you out. Yeah, modifying your vehicle can really screw with your policy. Bad Cat 43 says, I bought a truck one time used. The windows were so dark I had to roll the windows down to see it. And I see, and that's where if it's that dark, you should be peeling that tint off or getting someone to pull it off because that would have gotten you some good tickets. SH18 says, I got pulled over. Excuse me. Ugh. I got pulled over when I was learning to drive. The officer gave me a tip to push my seat a bit further back. I didn't listen, got into a collision, broke my knee. Yeah. Oddly enough, police know stuff and they are happy to share stuff. And it's usually good stuff. Malad says, what if you have a tint exemption and how dark can you go? There is no tint exemption in Ontario. There were some people arguing about it. Melody, were we arguing or discussing it? It was, I think you were on the show the day that someone came up with it. And the deal is, although it's not like you can have a doctor's note, that's not an exemption. That's a doctor's note. Like a doctor's note for a seatbelt is enough to exempt you from requiring it because the exemption exists in the HTA. Go away. Okay, says, oh no, not this again. So obviously they were here for that conversation. But the deal is that yeah, there's no. If you read the law, there's no exemption, and the law reads like here. Let's do this. I'm doing this again, aren't we? HTA seatbelt OREG. Well, where's the OREG? I was looking for a really cut and dry way to explain it, and I'm not finding the right site. How about we do this? Ontario. Oh, dot reg instead of let's see here. There we go. Let's see if I can find the exemptions to share with you. Yeah, I wonder if I use this example too. It's amazing how many times we it's going to work. Yeah. So here we go. Everything gets shown clearly, or I don't know if we can say this is clearly, but I'm looking for the word exempt. Yeah, see, the following are exempt from complying with subsections. So if you look at these, it clearly states that. Well, the same does not exist for tinted windows. It just doesn't. So if you're driving around with a letter saying my doctor says I need it, that's very nice. It's very nice. It's very unfortunate if you have a medical condition that requires it. And Melody says there's a very, very, very limited way to get a tint exemption. So limited that I'm not. I know we discussed it briefly. I don't recall what it was, but it's like actually, Melody, do you recall what it was? Because it's not written in the law. There's no place in the law that says that. So maybe there's a way to get, but it's so limited if that's the case. And I'm not even aware of it. It was Melody who found it, and I don't recall the conversation as to how you found it. But we need to have you on the show. We still need to have you on the show, Melody, like officially, even if it's just an audio format. So Milad, yes, you can get a ticket even though the doctor says you need tints because the doctor doesn't write laws; they write prescriptions. Just because a doctor says something doesn't mean, yeah. Oh, this is right. I remember now the conversation. So Melody says that has a customer that has an exemption for a very serious medical condition, but I think that we determined that that person was not an Ontarian, like it was issued outside of Ontario, possibly because in other provinces there may be ways to get exemptions. I vaguely remember the conversation now. In any case, Ontario law does not have a medical exemption attached to the section that would apply like the charge for obscure interior, for obscure driver view. Like you're not just breaking one law, you're multiple violations. Yeah, I know he lives in town, but I thought there was something about him being a long haul trucker. Anyway, sorry, I'm now having multiple conversations in multiple streams of the chat. Ontario Registry of Vehicles. So anyway, there was something I thought was related to province. Apparently, I'm mistaken. In any case, I need to know more about Melody's customer who has the exemption because I thought I configured out that there was an issue with it, but now I don't recall. I no longer know. But there is no law exemption in law that's standard. So there's something very very specific, and I don't even know how. It may not even be an exemption. It may just be that he says he's exempt. But Melody's going to find out next time. So, I see. I remember that he was a long haul trucker. See, I got that part right. In any case, yeah, don't bank on the doctor's note working. Listen, you can show 100 cops that note, and 99 of them might let you off with a warning because they feel bad or whatever. But it's not a legal exemption. It just means that the letter worked, even though that there's no reason for it to have worked. You picking up what I'm putting down? I see some things are working here. What is that? Restream bot's working, but Restream's not. Anyway, that's so weird. Um, all right. Having a quick look here. Okay. uh Rizzy says we should normalize digging for green gold and not feel shame when cops catch us. Digging for green gold, I'm assuming, is a suggestion is another way to say picking your nose. Uh, Normalized? No. Certainly you don't need to tint your windows. Although I will say I went and did a presentation. I was speaking to a group of people in a classroom environment. And while I'm speaking, there's a guy 2 desks in who he must have been 2 knuckles deep in his nose. Like it was just, he was tickling his brain. I don't understand. And he's looking straight at me as he's picking his nose. And at first I thought he was like calling me out in some way, like, like, like giving me attitude, but really he was just completely into his nose. It's just like, I was so, and then yeah, fortunately it was not the same hand he wanted to shake hands with later. Ugh. It's, uh, Bad Cat wants to know what does husbandry mean when used for riding lawnmowers and farm equipment? What is an implement of husbandry? It's farm equipment. An implement of husbandry, when you look at the definition, doesn't require license and such for operating it. So HTA definition for implement of husbandry. I'll read it to you. I have to be aware of the time because I've got to take my dad to an appointment. So, in the Ontario Highway Traffic Act, HDA, an implement of a husbandry refers to agricultural equipment or vehicles used for farming, horticulture, or livestock operations. It generally includes vehicles designed specifically for these purposes, such as tractors, combines, and other farm machinery. Specifically, self-propelled implements of husbandry, SPIHs, are vehicles manufactured or modified for a specific farm use. It's wild that Google now gives you an AI overview, which is pretty accurate. Swathers, I didn't even know that was a thing. A swather or a forage harvester. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's in there. It allows people to drive them. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Ever thought about becoming a police officer? And Bad Cat, you're very welcome. Ever thought about becoming a police officer? Ever thought about joining the job? If you have, or if you haven't, I still want to share with you this, that you can join, or at least apply to join, by going to www.tps.ca/careers. I'm trying to recover now. I'm still reeling from the fact that my audio issues were audio issues. They were horrible and terrible, and I feel unhappy about them. But we're moving on. The flow of the show is when things go bad technically, you need to just move on and stop talking about it. But I can't. So if you're looking to become a police officer, check out www.tps.ca/careers. And all the information you could ever want to know is all in this website. Now, granted, there's more information that you might want to need or know or think you need to know, but start here. And when you have questions after studying this information and knowing what you're talking about, then and only then should you ask somebody else about it. Because don't be lazy. I mean, do the research, read up about stuff and things. And did you know that you get paid while you're in training? Like, what job pays you nearly $70,000 to go to school and learn how to be a cop? And school used to cost money. Like, it used to cost, I think it was $15,000 in the last version of it, because that's room and board and all that stuff. You had to pay out of pocket. Well, the Ontario government has absorbed the cost of that education for the last 2 years. I think it's in its final third year. They might extend it. It's making it more accessible. It's like a $15,000 signing bonus. I paid for school. I paid to become a police officer, essentially. Now, you fail, you still fail. But if you pass, they don't just give it back to you. Getting it paid for really changes things. There's other ways to serve. You can become a parking enforcement officer, keep the city moving. You can work as a special constable, which is basically how I started my paid service as a court officer, different rank, title, and now they have expanded duties. But I always love looking at civilian roles. Let's see what's going on today. Oh, 5 jobs. Nurse. Know a nurse? They're looking for a nurse at headquarters. Oh, there's a nurse, and then there's nurse temporary 1-year contract. Interesting. 2 separate positions. Senior advisor, audit and quality assurance, job evaluation consultant, and communications operator. Comms operator, that's the fine folks that answer the phone when you call 911. They're also the other side of the house that dispatches police officers to actually help you. They are super duper important and valuable, and it's not an easy job. So, if any of those sound interesting, or if you know anybody who might be interested in those jobs, well, tell them to go check out the website, www.tps.ca/careers. Of course, Toronto may not be your choice, and if you're at a less good place, apply there too, because we need good people throughout Ontario and the world to step up and be police officers. Very, very important role, whether you think so or not. All right, we got. Let's see here. We've got Melody who says a swather for swathing. I don't know what is this. Okay, I'm going to Google I'm going to Google what a swather is. Could you imagine if Luke's dad Darth said, "I am not your swather"? What is it? What is it? Oh, that's a swather. Hang on. A swather, also known as a windrower, a farm implement that cuts hay or small grain crops and forms them into a windrow. Another word I've never heard before for drying. I did not know that that was a swather. Look, we can look at swathers in action. Is that audio working? No. I'd be I would be really upset if YouTube worked, but the other one didn't. So that's a swather. It's a really old swather, I would imagine. Okay, there's your swather. Luke, I am not your swather. Anyway, let's get into some dad jokes, and then I'm gonna wrap up a very, emotional roller coaster of a show with technical support problems everywhere. Anyway, I'll survive. But, let's get into some dad jokes. If you've got dad jokes, now's a good time to share them because, the show will end soon. And if you don't share them, your opportunity to share will disappear. All right. Oh, interesting. Akela says you've heard of windrows. That's what snowplows leave behind you on your driveway in some areas to get them cleared. Okay, learning stuff. Nick Rizzi says, "Hey, I got no tint on my windows, so if you come to my car that's parked and I'm two knuckles deep searching for green nuggets," he's talking about nose picking. "You got nothing on me, Copper. It's my God-given right to pick his nose." Just terrible. All right, yeah, I appreciate the comic relief that is provided by the one, the only Rizzy. The Riz. Is it the? Can we call you the Riz? He's a comedian. Does comedian stuff. All right. Dad joke. Why shouldn't you adopt a dog from a locksmith? As soon as you get it home, it'll make you. It'll make a. Oh, come on. The reading of this just sucked. Why shouldn't you adopt a dog from a locksmith? As soon as you get it home, it'll make bolt for the door. It'll make bolt, not make a bolt. It'll make bolt for the door. I can't tell if the joke is flawed or I am. I'm going to go with me. I'm going to assume. I'm going to assume that it was not so good. Um, oh, we got jokes here. Knock knock. No, what the hell am I reading here? Oh, before opening the fridge door, knock because you never know if there's a salad dressing. I had to change the order of operations to make it work for me. I didn't want to believe that my dad was stealing from his job as a road worker. Is that a joke or is that a statement? I'm confused, Melody. I'm not picking up what you're putting down. Was he a swather? I'm so confused. Okay. Why was the fly so nervous at the farmer's market? Because she was on a date. It's not bad. It's funny. If there's dates there. Yes. Star Wars dad joke. What did one Mandalorian helmet say to the other? Wait here. I'll go on ahead. That's the last joke from that book. Okay. Quote, he who knows nothing is closer to the truth than he whose mind is filled with the falsehoods and errors. Oh, no, I added the. He who knows nothing is closer to the truth than he whose mind is filled with falsehoods and errors. Yes. That sounds accurate. I'll go with it. Thomas Jefferson must have known stuff and things. All right. This train wreck is over. I'm going to shut it down 2 minutes early. I will be back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. for a much smoother Ask a Traffic Cop After Dark. It is it's the one that has this new magical logo that I like so much. I'm digging that logo. It's just so simple and neon. And I play you the theme song, but apparently no freaking audio is working properly, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Do I know why? Is this plugged in? That's plugged in. Anyway, maybe I'll have it sorted out by next time. I really want to be able to share the audio, and I'm a little bit unhappy about the fact that it didn't work. All right, be safe out there. Drive safe out there. Smile, have fun, enjoy the weather. Yeah, this is time you don't get back, right? It disappears. It doesn't come back. One of those funky, weird things. And once it's gone, it's gone. And I say that because recently I've been hearing about so many people getting sick, passing away, people that meant something to me that were instrumental in my lives, like in my life. I've only got one, but people that I worked with, people that came and mentored. We just had a chap from Toronto Police. I found out yesterday he died. Just it's amazing how maybe because I'm 50 and that's what's happening nowadays is that I'm old enough to have people rapidly approach old age or sickness but then there's young people who who pass away. It's just amazing. So take advantage of the fact that you have people in your life that you care about. Spend the time with them now. Don't put it off till the future. That's essentially exactly why I'm no longer a police officer, is because I chose to focus on family, even though I was giving up something that I loved as well. Just I love family more. Anyway, that got dark and quiet. But yeah, love y'all. See you on Tuesday.